Answers to you. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining His Holiness Candramauli Swami Maharaj's daily class. Today we are continuing with our Srimad Bhagavatam series of second canto, second chapter, verse number 23. Hare Krishna Maharaj, my humble obeisances to you. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for your time and association for all of us. I'll start my screen share again. Yeah, today's verse is 23. Maharaj, you are on mute or we are not able to hear you. You are unmute, but we are not able to hear you.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Yogeshwaranam Gatamahu Antar Bahistoloke Paravanatar Atmanam Karma Bistam Gatim Agnuvanti Vidyatapo Yoga Samadhi Bhajam. The transcendentalists are concerned with the spiritual body. As such, by the strength of their devotional service, austerities, mystic power, transcendental knowledge, their movements are unrestricted within and beyond the material worlds. The fruit workers of the gross materialists can never move in such an unrestricted manner. Purport. The material scientists endeavor to reach other planets by mechanical vehicles is only a futile attempt. One can, however, reach heavenly planets by virtuous activities. One can never expect to go beyond Svarga or Janaloka by such mechanical or materialist activities, either gross or subtle. The transcendentalists, who have nothing to do with the gross body, can move anywhere within or beyond the material worlds. Within the material worlds, they can move in the planetary system of the Mahar, Janas, Tapas, Satyaloka, and beyond the material worlds, they can move in Vaikuntha as unrestricted spacemen. Narada Muni is one such example. Durvasa Muni is another mystic. By the strength of devotional service, austerities, power, transcendental knowledge, one can be moved like Narada or Durvasa. It is said that Durvasa traveled throughout the entirety of material space and part of the spiritual space with only 1 year. The speed of the transcendentalists can never be attained by the gross or subtle materialists. Only Gyantamirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chaksu Unmilitam Nena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Ma Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimakti Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaudavani Pachadine Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Pastyatya Desatarni Vanshakalpa Vitubhusha Vipa Sindhu Bata Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namaho Namaha Daisya Krishna Chaitanya Bhuttanandasya Dvaita Gadadhar Sivasari Gauda Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So the gross materialists, sometimes they criticize the spiritualists, the saints and others, living a very restricted and very deprived life. But here we can understand it's quite the opposite. They're the ones that are deprived. They're limited. They can't take advantage of their own powers within them because they accept the material energy as the source of power. And therefore, they're restricted in whatever they do. But the transcendentalists, those who engage in devotional service to the Lord, or even those who are self-satisfied by meditation and prayer, can move throughout the universes unrestrictedly, if that is their desire. But of course, the Vaishnavas desire only to please Krishna. and facilitate Krishna's happiness in different ways. So they don't want to really advertise themselves, even though they have so much power. And they want to use their power to glorify the Lord and to give pleasure to the Lord in different ways. But if they want, they can travel. They can travel to the different planetary systems, all the way up to Satyaloka, which is the highest planet within the material world. That's where Lord Brahma lives. And we have Narada Muni. He is called the Transcendental Spaceman. And there are many. Even today, there are devotees that can go different places, anywhere and everywhere. Sometimes, just like when Prabhupada was traveling, one time he came into one airport. He was met by a group of reporters. One woman reporter there. She said, Swamiji, Prabhupada was explaining how a transcendentalist can travel in 3 different ways. He said, yantra, mantra, and pigeon. So there is a thing called kopita. Kopita means you train pigeons in such a way as they can carry you from one place to another. So that's one way of travel. It's mentioned in the Bhagavatam, and I think it's in the 8th canto. And one can train pigeons to fly different places, and one can ride on the pigeons. That is one way. The other way is yantra. Yantra means machine. And just like we travel in these gross machines, airplanes, and then there is mantra. Just by accessing and chanting purely various mantras, one can fly. Srila Prabhupada has mentioned that the flying capacity is there within the human being. They just have to learn how to use it. That's all. It's there. And yogis do that. They can fly from place to place. So Prabhupada came in on TW Airlines in one city. The reporters were there. And he was explaining these 3 ways of flying, yantra, mantra, and pigeon. So the lady reporter said, well, why did you choose TWA? In other words, why did you choose yantra? And Prabhupada said, to be one with you. When she heard the answer, she said, oh, I really like this person. And Prabhupada wasn't joking. He was saying that so you could identify with me and we could speak. If I come flying in, then that would be some spectacular, and my mission to preach to you Krishna consciousness will be somewhat overshadowed. So the great souls don't display mystic powers because they don't want to present themselves in that way. They want to present themselves as humble servants of the Lord who use their intelligence powers to glorify the Lord and to preach Krishna consciousness to the conditioned souls. But devotees have a lot of power, and they don't use it because they don't need to use it. If there is some reason to use it, they will use it also. We've seen many times when devotees were in certain difficult situations, just like one time Srila Prabhupada was in one, I think it was in Soho Street in London, and they were putting together a little altar, and they were bringing Lord Jagannath onto the altar, and then they had built this altar by gathering various materials, and there were pillars and wood, and they had made this makeshift altar for a ceremony, and Lord Jagannath was there. And there was a big, heavy beam over the top connecting the pillars from one side to the other. And at one point, Prabhupada was sitting there waiting for the performance to start, the ceremony to start. And the top beam started to shake, and then it started to fall. How Prabhupada got up, jumped up so fast, and with one hand, he grabbed that falling beam from falling onto the deities. he caught it. I mean, that beam took two strong men to carry the beam into. Prabhupada just simply grabbed it with his one hand. And then the devotees came, and then they helped Prabhupada, and then they moved the beam out. But the devotees were amazed how this 75-year-old sadhu, so very small. Prabhupada was small. He was about 5 feet 4 inches tall. He wasn't big in terms of height. And but still, he had such transcendental power. But he never used it. I remember one other time when Prabhupada was worshiping the deity, and he was there offering the articles, the arti, and he came to the conch shell where they offer the water to the deity. And so he was offering the water, and then you're supposed to pour the water out into a bowl, but there was no bowl there. So Prabhupada turned to the devotees who were having kirtan at the time, and he started to say, bowl, bowl. And the devotees thought he was saying, Hari Bol. So they start singing really enthusiastically and chanting Hari Bol, Hari Bol. And Prabhupada could understand. They didn't understand. So rather than making any scene, he took the water in the conch shell. The Tulsi Devi was on the other side of the altar. It was quite a distance away, at least 2 meters. And he flicked his wrist with the conch shell in his hand. The water shot out of the conch shell, went into a straight stream, and landed right on Tulsi, every drop. No drop hit the floor in between. It was amazing. When the devotees saw that, they were astounded. And Prabhupada did that because there was no other way to get rid of the water. He had to continue with the arti, and so he did that. So many times you'll see, and there are many devotees who have performed many transcendental feats when it becomes necessary for either for survival or for preaching or for just performing ordinary devotional service. So, but the point is here is that Krishna consciousness is not limited. Material life is limited. It's extremely limited. You can only do so much. If you want to do something more, you have to learn how to do it. And that takes time also. And then the question is whether it's actually up to the standard, even when you learn it. But Krishna consciousness is so that the devotees, whatever they want to do in the service of the Lord, if they apply their intelligence and time, ultimately they become successful. Here, moving around, even sages, great sages who frequent the holy places, they visit all of the holy places in one day. They submerge themselves in water in the morning in one holy place. And then a few months later, they're up in another holy place 1,000 miles from where they started from. So yogis, they have that power, and they have that mystic power. Even when we were in New Vrindavan, devotees were learning how to walk on hot coals. And some people were coming and teaching devotees how to walk barefooted on red hot coals, and nobody was burning their feet. I saw that. I decided not to participate in that particular activity, but devotees were doing it. So, defying material energy is not really anything worth glorifying, because material energy works under the direction of Krishna. And if you want to defy material energy, then you just take shelter of Krishna, who is the complete controller of material energy. And Krishna can keep the material energy from influencing you in any way. That is actually power. When Prabhupada was asked, where's your mystic power? He pointed to his disciples. He said, these are my mystic power. They used to be morose, unhappy, various types of problems, intoxication, so many things. Now they're chanting, dancing, they're bright-faced. They become lovers of Krishna. The devotional service and the power that comes by way of devotional service is Krishna's power. So of course we don't take the devotional service to become powerful, but that power is automatically given. And Prabhupada has said that many times. Devotees can do anything if it's required because they can connect with Krishna, and Krishna gives them whatever they need to perform an activity. But devotees don't perform these activities in public, nor do they want to attract attention to themselves or display any kind of mystical power just to impress people. Their mystic power is that they can engage in devotional service 24 hours a day, unimpeded and undeterred by the material energy. That's powerful. To defy the material energy or to conquer over the material energy is one of the greatest mystic powers. Maya is called Chaya. She's shadow. She's a reflection of the reality of Krishna's existence. And she is very, very powerful. Srishti stisti palaya sadayega chayevya vibhati duga ichana rupa yasya apachestate sa govindam adipurusham tamaham bhajami. She is chaya, shadow. She like a hand and a glove. The glove and the hand have the same shape. The glove is simply the covering over the hand, but the hand is moving the glove in the same way. So Maya, her energies are reflections of the original energy, but they don't have the substance. And they're bewildering everyone in the material world. So everyone is trying to manipulate the material energies in order to find some success through that manipulation, either by getting a better position, becoming more richer, finding different enjoyment through various types of sense gratification. But devotees don't have to worry about that because Bilvamangala Thakur, he gives the standard. He says, and since I've been engaged in devotional service, Bhukti and Mukti are standing at my door knocking. Can we come in? How can we serve you? So Bhukti is liberation. Bhukti is material happiness, and Mukti is liberation. So devotees are automatically liberated because devotional service is on the liberated platform. It is not part of the material world. When one is engaged in devotional service, they are acting above the three modes of material energy. They're connected to the internal energy of the Lord, the Daivi Shakti, the spiritual essence. And therefore, their activities are not within the material arrangements. Therefore, material energy don't touch the devotees. Sometimes it looks like a devotee is affected by the material energy, but that's just the appearance. Even when devotees get sick, they may undergo some difficulty, but they're not like the materialists who depend on everything to work according to their own plans and for them to achieve happiness. The devotees, sometimes they get sick, they just tolerate it. They do whatever is necessary and get back in devotional service. It's just part of life, and so they just tolerate it. But they're transcendental to everything. Yeah. In the sense is that they don't touch the material energy. And the beauty is that Krishna is always there, protecting, enlivening, uplifting, inspiring, and facilitating his devotees. Devotees don't have to do anything, but have a strong desire to serve the Lord. And by that desire, Krishna does everything else. He facilitates. He even gives instructions on how we should serve him. And when the devotee takes up that instruction and works to make it happen, Krishna facilitates that, and that devotee does wonderful things on behalf of the Lord. Like the devotee, sometimes the Krishna will appear in a dream of a devotee and say, "My temple needs repair. Please repair it." the devotee will make a plan to repair the temple, and Krishna will make the arrangements for him to get everything he needs to complete the service. Or the Lord will say, preach my Krishna consciousness everywhere. He's competent, just like Prabhupada was talking about how Lord Chaitanya spread Krishna consciousness all over the subcontinent of India when he was there. When he traveled for 6 years, all the way from Jagannath Puri down to Cape Palmer and back up all the way up to down the eastern side and up the western side until he got to the area which we now know as Bombay, crossed over and went back straight to Jagannath Puri. Took him 6 years, but during that time, he planted so many seeds and people were chanting and dancing everywhere throughout India. There are places where Lord Chaitanya is honored. His footprints are there as an indication he visited these many, many places. And then when Prabhupada was talking about how Lord Chaitanya made the whole subcontinent of India Krishna conscious, and the devotee said to Srila Prabhupada, if Lord Chaitanya could do that, why didn't he just spread Krishna consciousness all around the world? And Prabhupada said, he left it for me to do. He wants to give credit to his devotee. Krishna can do anything. Krishna is God. He's all powerful. There's nothing he can't do. Sometimes people want to make tricks and try to figure out ways of making statements, just like one person said to Prabhupada, when Prabhupada was talking about how Krishna was, he's all powerful, he can do anything. And then one person, these were intellectuals who had come to hear Srila Prabhupada speak. One of them said, well, if Krishna can do anything, can he create a rock he can't lift? So if you think about it, if you say yes, that means you restrict his lifting power. And if you say no, that means you restrict his creating power. So Prabhupada said, yes, Krishna can create a rock he can't lift, and then he'll lift it. So in other words, don't try to trick the spiritual master. It doesn't work, even with these trick questions. So, but the point Prabhupada wanted to make is, yeah, Krishna is all powerful, but he gives his power to the devotees to do wonderful things by spreading Krishna consciousness everywhere. So we should understand this as a principle of success, that take on some responsibility of spreading Krishna consciousness wherever you are, see what Krishna has given to you, organize accordingly, and do something to spread Krishna consciousness. And you'll see, you'll have success. Why? Because this is the Lord's desire. He wants to see his mission reach each and every soul because he feels for the suffering of all living entities. And he wants us to be his instrument to relieve the sufferings of others by bringing them to his lotus feet. And therefore, he supplies both the intelligence, the ability, the facility, the time, everything. When we simply want to satisfy him by spreading Krishna consciousness. And to preach in this age is not easy because people generally don't want it. They want sometimes people want something spiritual, but they want spiritual with material. They want to be happy materially and practice some spiritual life. But Krishna consciousness is it's above the three modes of material nature. It has its own built-in source of happiness. We don't need to worry about material happiness. Anyway, material happiness is not something that the devotee looks towards. They simply see it as an illusion. And they see that those who are trying to become materially happy, they're just, going deeper into the illusion, suffering in so many ways, wasting their time, wasting their life. So the devotee thinks, what can I do to satisfy Lord Chaitanya and Srila Prabhupada and spread Krishna consciousness? And you might think, well, I'm limited. I don't have this. I've never done it before. Don't worry about that. As they say in a very simplified way, where there's a will, there is a way. So if you desire to serve and preach Krishna consciousness, you'll see if you make a little endeavor in that direction, work in that way, and Krishna will supply whatever you need, along with the ability to to do the service. That is Krishna. He's doing everything behind the scenes, and he gives all the credits to the devotees who accept his mercy and act on his behalf. Okay, so the point is, Krishna consciousness is unlimited in all areas of life, whereas material life is limited in all areas of life. And not only is it limited, it's temporary. Okay, so we'll stop there.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you so much. Such a wonderful class. Thank you so much. You mentioned so many points. Thank you. Dear devotees, any questions or comments or realizations, you can please go ahead now. And please turn on your cameras, if possible. Ridhanya, please go ahead.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, dear Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and all glories to you and all glories to the assembled devotees. My question is, when I was reading, I came across something called Brahmaloka and sometimes Satyaloka. And I even read that liberated souls sometimes go to Brahmaloka. So I was confused, is Brahmaloka and Satyaloka same? I used to think that Brahmaloka is where Brahma lives. And I thought Satyaloka is just another name for Brahmaloka, but I'm a little confused after reading.
That's an interesting question. I never really researched that out, but from what I understand from my own reading, Brahmaloka and Satyaloka are the same place. That's from my understanding, from my reading also.
Okay.
Because Satyaloka is considered the highest planet in the material realm, and Brahmaloka is also given that same definition. So,
Okay.
mhm.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Yeah.
Thank you. Maharaj, I just want to clarify that when we are talking about the strength of the devotional service, so so whatever success we get, we get in our Krishna conscious journey, is that due to our strength of the devotional service or our sadhana, or it's a mix of Krishna's mercy or Guru's mercy and
Well, the desire is the active ingredient. The strength of your desire brings about the activities you perform. Desire is not something static or limited or inert. When you desire something, you start moving that energy to fulfill that desire. So if you strongly desire Krishna conscious, then you'll get so much opportunities to fulfill that desire by having so many opportunities to serve in different ways. It's the strength of your desire. As Prabhupada would say, we only have our desire. That's all we have. But that desire moves. If your desire is directed towards the material energy, it moves the material energy. If it's directed toward the spiritual energy, then so many wonderful things happen in devotional service. Make your desire strong.
Okay.
And you can.
Sorry, Maharaj, you were saying something.
When our desire, just like, what is that verse in the Bhagavad Gita, 241? Ekeha Kudanandana Bahu Sakya Yanatas Cha Buddha Yoga Visahinam. Those who are on this path are resolute in purpose, and their aim is one, a beloved child of the Kurus. Those whose whose intelligence are many branched. So make your intelligence single branched, not many branched.
Mm.
Don't branch your intelligence. Well, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do this, and some material, some spiritual, some personal, some extended. Make your desire Krishna conscious, and everything's included in there. Whatever else you desire will automatically be fulfilled in one of two ways through the power of your devotional service. One is that material desires which you may have will no longer be there by the power of your devotional service, because you'll taste something higher. And when you taste something higher, just like if you get something better, you can give up something lower.
Mm.
So Krishna consciousness brings about the higher taste. That's one way of fulfilling desires. And that's the absolute way. The other way is that Krishna sees his devotees working in so many ways, and he said, oh, this devotee also wants to do all these other things. So he helps, he actually facilitates that. He wants to make his devotee happy, sometimes by giving them what they want on a material level, because he knows it won't take away from their devotional service.
So you mean that we have to focus on one thing at a time to get success and
Just focus on Krishna. That's all. Make your focus 100% on Krishna,
yes, ma'am. Mm.
and everything else will follow.
Mm.
Krishna is the supreme controller, the supreme source. When you want to become Krishna you'll still go about your other activities in life, but keep your focus on Krishna, and you'll see how easily and natural it is to do everything else when Krishna is there within your mind, within your heart.
Yes, Maharaj. Yeah.
Natural. And if it's not meant to be, Krishna will direct you away from that.
Mm. Yes, Maharaj. Yeah. Thank you so much. Maharaj, we are not able to see you fully. Can you adjust your laptop screen?
Okay. Maybe I'm not to be seen today.
As your wish, Guru Maharaj.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, I just ruined the atmosphere now. Okay.
No. Mohini Radha Mataji, please go ahead.
Mohini Radha, Haribo. Wow.
Haribo.
Even the other half is down there. He's right below you, 4 layers down. So he's your support.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Maharaj. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to you. Maharaj, in the purport in the last line, Prabhupada is saying the speed of the transcendentalist can never be attained by the gross or subtle materialists. So here,
Right.
Prabhupada means materialists means the gnanis and the
Yogis.
yogis.
Anyone that has a material desire is a materialist.
Hmm.
The Gyanis want liberation. The yogis want to control the material energy. The karmis want to enjoy the material energy. Devotees want to use the material energy for the service of the Lord. Devotees are free from they're nishkam. Everyone is sukam. They have desires. Even the demigods, they are also what we call sukam. They have desires for material power, for material position, but they use it in Krishna's service. But still, they're attached to their position as being demigods. Many of them, not all of them. So devotee, he can serve in any situation. If Krishna says, all right, well, you're serving nicely here, but I want you to go over here and serve. The devotee thinks, well, if that's what Krishna wants, then I can give up wherever I'm serving, and I can serve over there if that what pleases Krishna. The devotees are not attached. They're attached to Krishna more than they're attached to the service that they're doing. And that's bhakti, to be attached to Krishna.
So even whilst doing service, we have to do it in a way that we are not attached with the service, but more with Krishna.
Well, the object of our service is Krishna's pleasure, or the pleasure of the spiritual master, which in one sense is the same, because he offers everything that you offer to him, to Krishna. So there's no difference in that. And serving the devotees is one of the ways to please Krishna very much, because he says, one who's my devotee is more my devotee than one who thinks he's my devotee. So serving the devotees, serving the spiritual master, serving the Lord are all one absolute principle of service, because they're all connected with the process of devotion. So we have so many devotees to serve. We have our spiritual master to serve. And we find out from the spiritual master how best to serve Krishna. That's why it's recommended that we ask, how can I serve? Just to check and see. Many times the spiritual masters say, oh, well, go on with what you're doing. That's very nice. Or he might even say, well, actually, I do have this other service that needs to be done. You can do that. But we're afraid to ask that question. We think that'll upset my arrangements for happiness.
That's true, Maharaj.
Yeah.
I just have one extended question. Is that okay if I ask?
Yeah, you're good so far.
So for service, Maharaj, when sometimes it can happen that we are doing a service for few years, but then for some or the other reason, there is not this satisfaction and the mind or the heart is still hankering. So then is it good to reflect of how we can do that service better, as you mentioned yesterday in your response to one of the answers, or it can also be a good idea to see if we can engage ourselves in other service, because sometimes what happens is that the service we might have taken up might not be so much according to our nature, and we many times speak in ISKCON of engaging people as per their nature, as per their prakriti.
That is the recommended way, and that's the ideal way, but many times we find ourselves doing service that is needed, so we do that. But one way to reflect on our present position is to reflect on our previous position, seeing how we were so enthusiastic to do that same service maybe a few years ago, but where is that enthusiasm now? Are we seeing that service as simply being ordinary activity? Are we forgetting what is the motivation behind the service? And then sometimes we lose our enthusiasm for that. So one reflecting on the way it was when we first started and how enthusiastic or how eager we were, and now why is it not there anymore? What is it about that's changed? The devotional service is not affected by anything material, but we get affected by material things, and our perception of the service or our experience of the service can make us think that, well, I need to do something else. And sometimes that principle is acceptable. Yeah, sometimes we change services to get into another service and develop that service. That's fine. There's nothing wrong in that. But to work according to our nature, And that takes some time before you can actually understand what is your actual nature. It's not so easy because our nature is mixed up with material activities. And we should not see our nature as basically on what we like. It may be what we like, but it may not be also. And there's four natures. There's those who are priestly, philosophically, they're teachers. They're more in the mood of renunciation. They're the Brahmins. Kshatriyas, they like to organize. They like to protect others. They like to inspire others in developing projects. That is the Kshatriyas. The Vaishyas, they like to take care of animals, cows especially. They like to farm agriculture, and they also are good with economics, banking. So these are the three varnas that are described by Krishna. Chaturvarnya, Mayasrisha. Chatur means four. The fourth is the Sudras, who generally can do like menial services such as arts and crafts, various things, or they can assist others in doing whatever service they are doing also. So yeah, but Prabhupada started the movement by trying to teach Brahminical principles to everyone. But he understood as time goes on, people will move towards their inclination. And so you have to see what is your inclination. And if you can serve according to your inclination, then you can do some service that is very, what we say, beneficial to so many people, including yourself, of course. But when we're not on that, then we can do whatever service is available. The service is absolute. But Prabhupada wanted to develop Varnashram because he knew the people will not stay fixed in their service unless they work according to their nature. So he set up a whole system of education, training, and evaluation based on activities in devotional service. And that's a big topic. I mean, like if we start getting into that, we can speak on that the whole night. But if you're feeling a little like mechanical in your service, or what else is it, that you need a little change, there's nothing wrong. If you consult your spiritual master, or you can consult someone who is equivalent to your spiritual master, then sometimes you get an indication where you can move into. We take up our material professions many times because it's very lucrative on the economic level, but that doesn't mean that's our nature. It's just because economics are available, and therefore we direct ourselves in that way. So therefore, don't confuse what you're doing on the material nature and the material energy as your internal spiritual nature. It may not be. It's not actually internal spiritual nature. It's your swadharma. It's your material nature also. There's a nice book if you want to really. It's a good wintertime book because it takes forever to read. The book is called Career Dharma by Urmila and Rukmini, two ladies. They're both highly developed in their Krishna conscious. They got together and put this book. It's about 600 pages long, called Career Dharma. And it really explains our nature and how everything gets mixed up in the material world. It's an interesting book. But also, Srila Prabhupada's statements in that relationship are in line with the Vedic principles for understanding, evaluation, and ultimately service. It's not that every lady has to just cook. Ladies can do other things besides cooking. Of course, if you talk to their husband, they might disagree, but anyway.
That's the easiest, because one has an expertise in that, then it just becomes very natural, whether the inclination is there or not. But I have seen that in my own self also, that because I have always done so much cooking for the family, the services related to cooking are easier for me to accept. And people also have that perception, devotees also have that perception. So they also come up with cooking services.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's more or less what has been relegated in that way. But it's not that we're limited to that service. Of course, if you like it and it's necessary, then that can be offered to Krishna regularly.
Thank you,
Yes,
Maharaj.
I know it's a very big topic, but thank you so much for the clarification that you gave.
Sri Devi, forget about it. Don't even ask that question. Because we want you out of the kitchen. You can do better services you're a people person. You can really resonate with giving people inspiration in their own life. I mean, cooking may be part of it, but it takes so much time, energy, and you know, facilities to continue to develop cooking. So the best thing is to have so many friends and just go to somebody's house for lunch every day. Wish you could do that in Mayapur. Just walk in. So if you get back in the kitchen, forget it.
Maharaj, Dinanath Prabhu has raised his hand. Prabhuji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, my humble obeisances to you. Maharaj, this was a question from yesterday, but I'm asking today. We often talk about material life and spiritual life. We basically say we are doing more material, then there is a spiritual life, then there is a material life. But whatever we are doing, I mean, there has to be that absolute plane, because otherwise there's always this distinction that this is material, this is spiritual. But how can we develop that consciousness that whatever you're doing is spiritual? Because then that is much more easier than always trying to juggle between this is material and this is spiritual.
Well, Krishna recommends we do everything for him. And he says that in the Bhagavad Gita. Yat karosi aranasi, yat jahosi dadahtiya, yat tapasi tukunte, tat kurushu mararpanam. All that you do, he doesn't say some things that you do, or all that you do in devotion. He says all that you do, all that you eat, all that you offer and give away, as well as all sacrifices you may perform, should be done as an offering to me. So we have to learn that art of offering everything as a service to the Lord. Even they call it Gona Bhakti. Gona means that which is parallel to Bhakti, but not directly. That means what we need to do to keep body and soul together in this material world. And those activities can also be spiritualized by connecting them with Krishna. One of the principles that allows that connection is that my main goal in life is to become Krishna conscious. So I should think everything that I do is also part of becoming Krishna conscious. So let me do everything in that mood. Like that. Devotees don't see their material life as being separate.
Yes, Maharaj. Maharaj, specifically, just to add on to that one. So, most particularly, we are in a work situation where we are trying to earn some salary to keep things going. And that is where I mean, I struggle to see that as a spiritual activity, but in the sense that when you are in that mode, when you're in that passionate mode, solving problems, working with the customer, looking into escalations, all of those things, it kind of just takes over.
Yeah, that's a compromise situation. It was there when Prabhupada started the movement, but Prabhupada said we have to come to the point of becoming free from the dependence on the external world.
Mhm.
So he wanted each and every devotee to work within the confines of Krishna consciousness in all aspects of their life. And therefore, he recommended a more simplified lifestyle, which is easier to connect everything we do in Krishna consciousness. If we're working for the outside world, we are compromising at best. At worst, we're also becoming polluted by that association. So, I mean, you have to understand Prabhupada's instructions. He came to give us the Vedic culture, not to plug into this materialistic culture. But he said, as long as you're in it, learn how to use it to serve the Lord. But ultimately, it's not the goal. Because he understood that the materialistic culture is tenuous. It could fall apart. It could collapse at any time. And it always changes even while it's running. One day you are finding yourself having enough finances to support whatever you need. And then as time goes on, you're short. Nothing changed in your life, but the economic situation changed. And now you're struggling to keep up what you did easily. And that's the way the material. So we're being controlled, at least for our material needs, by the material society. And that makes us somewhat more a puppet to their activities. The Prabhupada's principle is to move away from that and simplify your lifestyle and go back to a more natural lifestyle. I mean, Prabhupada's mission was a complete turnover of the whole society towards the Vedic scheme. He wasn't into compromising, but he did say, if you're in it, you learn how to use it, but gradually reduce it and then move away from that. He never encouraged devotees to go back to school to learn some kind of education or trade so they can engage in devotional service. He said, if you're in school, finish your education, and then you can use whatever you gain from that to serve the Lord. But he said, it's not that we need to go and gain anything from the material world so we can use it in Krishna consciousness. Because we can serve the Lord in any way. We don't need to have so many great skills, but if you have the skills, use them. But it's not that you have to waste time developing these things or gaining so much money in order to support projects. The Prabhupada was never in favor of us to go back to the material world just to gain something that we could use in Krishna consciousness. He said, if you're in it, use it and gradually start to reduce it. What he meant was a more simplified lifestyle. So you can't live a simplified lifestyle in the modern Western society. There's too many demands. And you spend a lot of time running around here and there just to keep up with what the necessities that they impose upon you. They're not necessities, they're extras, but they fall into the category of necessity by the arrangement of the economic system that causes us to need so many things, which normally we don't need.
Thank you, Maharaj. This is quite deep, what you said, that we don't need to gain and get anything from the material world in terms of learning. So
Yeah.
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 Thank you, Maharaj.
Material is a reflection of the spiritual. It has no substance of its own. Spiritual is life. And learning to use everything in Krishna's service is the perfection of our material life. That's all. Then it becomes spiritualized. And that's an art. You have to learn that art.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you.
Thank you, Maharaj.
But the best way is keep your focus on Krishna, devotional service. That's it.
Yes, Maharaj.
What's the use of becoming a devotee if we're not devoted to Krishna? We're devoted to the material energy. Can't serve two masters. The Bible says that. You'll love one and despise the other. Or they speak about that. No man can serve two masters. So we have to make Krishna our only master. Devotional service, the activities connected with our eternal master, Krishna. And if you understand the whole process, you understand there's nothing outside of Krishna consciousness. Economics, politics, sociology, architecture, everything is can be used in the context of spirituality. Because everything is spiritual, ultimately. Of course, there's some things we just don't need, but then that becomes obvious after a while. Like entertainment. Where do devotees find entertainment? In spiritual activities. Chanting, dancing, going to holy places, learning musical abilities and glorifying the Lord through various types of musical expressions. There's different ways. I mean, we had our Janakinath Prabhu, he was a magician. And he used to use magic tricks to entice people to buy books. So, yeah. So magic is it's a developed skill, but it can be used to entertain people and become rich, or you can use it to serve Krishna.
Thank you, Maharaj. Sridevi Mataji, you have a question.
Thank you. Dear Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances, all glories to Prabhupada. This is very interesting discussion, Guru Maharaj, and you are shedding light and with divine wisdom on so many aspects. Every word is precious. I'm making a presentation this Sunday on simple living, high thinking, and I'm speaking on the importance of farm communities to a predominantly Indian audience. Now, when we talk about Chaturvarnya Maya Srishtam, this is pre-existing in society because Krishna has made the system. So by nature, there are people who are Kshatriyas, Brahmanas, Vaishyas, Shudras. As you rightly said, just thinking of economics, we just go for being an engineer or a doctor or an IT man or a this or that, even though it may not be a natural propensity. To overhaul the whole system and bring it back to the wholesome, natural, simple, Krishna conscious way of living is a long way off to come to that ideal. So while we are in this transition, can we at least encourage people to look at what are the natural propensities of a child and then encourage them to train that child in that particular way so that at least their lives become more in keeping with their Krishna consciousness and using the abilities in Krishna consciousness?
Yeah, that's actually a duty of a parent when bringing it up and seeing how they can direct their child to be very productive in something that becomes something that they can enjoy, something they can connect with in spiritual life. Yeah. And that's the duty of a parent. Because if you allow the children to go on their own, sometimes they pick up things that because it's being done in society, so they also gravitate towards that.
There's a great fear, Guru Maharaj. This is just the cultural thing I'm talking about. Indians set great store by finances. You know, money means a lot. Prabhupada said this, for Westerners, it's sex desire, and for Easterners, it's money.
Right.
So how we can actually help people understand Prabhupada wants the best for us. By giving us this vision of this simple living, he's actually protecting us from all the evils that are going to befall us if we don't pay attention to him and we don't pay attention to him. So
You have to show them that there is a process of transition from one to another. And that's the biggest, what we call obstacle. That's the biggest thing to overcome is how to make that transition. And not everyone can make that transition, but there is a class of people who can easily do it if they're given the opportunity. People are working according to their natures, many of them now, even in our society, but it's not organized. It's not organized in the system of an ashram. It's done ad hoc. You know, in other words, people are working according to their different propensities and just serving in that way. That's there to some degree, not completely. But when in an organized way, then there's cooperation between the different varnas. The Kshatriyas get guidance and directions from the Brahmanas. The Vaishyas produce for the benefit of all of the varnas. The Kshatriyas will protect and also manage everything for the benefit of everyone. So unless we organize this in a system, then people are doing it individually for their own, what you might say, separate interests, or for some limited interest in their own areas. I was just looking at a particular temple that just opened up in Lithuania. It was a nice video. I sent it yesterday on ISKCON News. You can see it. And they're building a beautiful temple, and at the same time they got farmland, they got agriculture, they got cows, they got a very nice environment where they can develop the land, and at the same time practice Krishna consciousness. Why can't we do that everywhere? Start a community in a more rural environment, have nice houses, you don't have to live in mud huts. And have a system of education for the children. That's all that. All of that can be done within the confines of Krishna consciousness. And then there's a class of people who will work the land. There's a class of people who will build buildings. There's a class of people who will organize all of the spiritual activities. You know, so everything is done by division and cooperation amongst the different varnas. And take a look at that little video. It's about 28 minutes long, I think. It's nice. You'll see it on what I sent yesterday on ISKCON News, on Candramauli Swami's what is it, Google. I think most of you are connected to that.
I got it. I didn't particularly open it, but I did see it about Lithuania.
Yeah. You see, they got the best of both worlds. It's still a project in development yet, but it's going in the right direction. We need a place for the children to grow up, not send them to these karmi schools to get slaughtered by all kinds of sense gratification and bad habits, and pick up all of the wrong activities, and then try to unteach them, which becomes practically impossible after they learn all of these bad habits. It's the duty of the present generation to set the foundation for the next generation, to have a lifestyle, because this material world doesn't provide a lifestyle. And in your presentation, you can also show that the fertility of the present situation in the world, how things are falling apart everywhere. And it's true. I mean, without getting into a whole economic and political scenario, you can show points. I mean, there's food shortages in the UK. There's food shortages in America. There's civil rights, there's riots. There is positioning for war in different countries now. So the material situation right now is quite precarious. And the astrologers are predicting a major conflagration coming up within 2 years. Of course, whether they're right or wrong, I don't know. But many of the astrologers are saying we're headed for some really hard times. So Prabhupada also was a visionary. Along with developing a natural lifestyle, he saw if we continue to depend on this material situation, we might find ourselves at a loss just for the basic needs in life.
Yes, Guru Maharaj, as I see it, this is actually imperative. It's urgent. I don't understand how to convey this, though, my conviction that this is the way to go forward. I want to be relevant, I want to be cogent, I want to be clear, and I want to present Srila Prabhupada's very clear directives for how to make this happen. That's my desire.
Yeah. Study the subject matter, and you can also get some indications from my book, Krishna's Way, Natural Living.
I'm carrying all the books there, Guru Maharaj. I'm carrying all that's left over here for distribution there. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mataji.
Okay, so Amrita Nam we have.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So Guru Maharaj, you mentioned many times that AI is one of the biggest demons we have ever seen. So
I like RI better.
So if we use this AI in the service of Krishna, does it justify?
Somebody sent me a video of a Krishna conscious movie, which was kind of an animation of Krishna's pastimes using the technology coming from AI. And they were glorifying AI in this video. I mean, I thought it was quite creative, quite nicely done. But we don't need AI to do that.
It's better to stay away.
Well, the materialists have big plans of using it to downsize the need for the workforce and replace workers with all of this machinery, these robots. One person can do 1 or 2 people can do what 100 men can do normally. Then what happens to the workforce? And people become unemployed. And then when there's unemployment, there's crime. And when there's crime, there's social unrest. So, yeah. Everyone has a right to perform some occupation within society, and that's being taken away now by this AI.
So
That's
something which is creating
that's
which is creating imbalance. Yes, Gurmaj, please go ahead.
no, that's the big. That's what AI is about. Is to decrease the whole workforce and just get everything done with a few. But AI is limited. It can't. It's not. It doesn't have emotions. Emotion is the principle of devotion. You can't love a machine, even if it looks like your relative.
Yes, Gurmaj. I think that's the biggest setback I found in AI, that even if you make an excellent, super perfect artwork out of it using AI, but I found that emotions connected when a person is doing that artwork, or when the AI is generating it, there's a difference in the emotions we see in that artwork.
It depends
So
who's if it gets in the hands of nefarious and evil people, they will use it for destructive purposes. Yeah. That's the danger, and that's already happening. One of my godbrothers said to his brother, whose brother works in General Motors in America, and he said to his brother, they're both very intelligent. He said, well, if they introduce AI in General Motors, what will happen to all the workers? And his brother said, well, we'll have a war. In other words, get rid of the excess population by wars, That was his response. He told me that directly. Because unless people in the material world are busy, they will simply either gravitate towards, various types of depression, or they will become detrimental to themselves and others.
correct. Thank you, Gurmaj. I think we should avoid the use even in devotional service, isn't it?
Because if we endorse that, then we're endorsing something that could be also very destructive. So even though there may be some positive sense into it, better to stay away from them. I mean,
Right.
somehow we lived for millions of years without it. So all of a sudden, see, the society will create things. So you have to understand material society and spiritual principles. From spiritually, we don't need anything. We need Krishna. If you get Krishna, you have everything. Material says you're deficient. You don't have this. You need this. So they keep giving you things to fulfill this false void that they create within your mind, that you need these things. You don't need them. All you need is Krishna. And then once you have Krishna, everything else follows. But that Krishna is not part of their equation. They don't include him. They see everything, and they keep coming up with newer and more things to fill people's so-called void, because people cannot be fulfilled with material things. And the more material things they have, the more they feel a lack within themselves. Because we're not material, we're spiritual by nature. We can only be satisfied with that as of our own nature, which is spiritual. Material things may have some use in a limited sense, but they cannot give satisfaction, happiness. Yeah, that's the verse. They're always doing something destructive. If you read the 16th chapter, the demons are always creating things to destroy the world.
Yes, Maharaj. Thank you so much. Yeah. Sakshi Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Maharaj, my question is related to today's verse. Like you were saying that Maya is very strong. So there could be possibility for even the devotees who are in the Krishna consciousness movement. They can get diverted from the devotional process, and they can even slip and choose to take other yogic processes. So how can we prevent ourselves from getting distracted?
Stay in the association of devotees. See the association of devotees as the foundation for everything you need in Krishna consciousness. This is the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, not the International Society for Individual Spiritual Progress. It's a society. In other words, our lifestyle is communal. Our activities are together. We gain happiness, we gain intelligence, we gain so much, both spiritual and practical, from devotee association. So if we stay connected to devotees and perform devotional activities, we're so pretty much not, well, we won't be inclined to get diverted to something else.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Maharaj.
Then when you're in association with devotees, you can recognize your material desires, and then you can distance yourself from trying to satisfy those things, because you're developing a taste in Krishna consciousness through devotee association. That's why Prabhupada made a very simplified statement. He said there's three things important in devotional service: association, association, association. He wasn't just being cute. He was saying this is the foundation for whatever else we do in our success of spiritual practice. Our chanting, our reading, our association, our taking prasadam, the intelligence we need and the inspirations we get all come by the association of devotees. It's a
Thank
very,
you so much, Maharaj.
very powerful principle. So therefore, just like in our individual yatras, all of us are from different places around the world. Some of us are from the same place. I can see some of you are from Detroit, some of you are from the UK, some of you are from India, and some of you are from, mostly these are the main countries that I mentioned. So wherever you are, organize within your own groups, having programs together. And have as many programs as you can, not just on the weekends, but every night of the week. Have a program somewhere in your area. The UK especially is very full. I mean, you can go to 10 different programs the same night in the UK. It's just chock full of spiritual activities. There's something happening every night of the week in many places. That's how we stay Krishna conscious. By associating, going to programs, taking part in kirtan, discussing the philosophy, applying that knowledge. So when we have a more communal type of atmosphere amongst the devotees, it becomes more natural and easier. When we're not in the community, when we're in a more of a urban type environment, and then we should take advantage of what's going on around us. Just like Radhanath Swami, he had a whole bunch of doctors. They were like 25 doctors. And he was thinking, well, they're all going to go out and get their, they finish their doctorate, and then they're going to go work in their individual practices. So they came up with an idea of starting a hospital. And so they built and got together and started the Bhaktivedanta Hospital in Mumbai, where, you got more than 50 doctors who are all devotees working in the same environment. And it's not just a medical facility. It features activities. It's got a temple there with Lord Jagannath deities. They do on the intercoms in the different rooms where the patients are, you can turn it on. You hear Srila Prabhupada chanting bhajans, or you can hear Srila Prabhupada giving class. And then they have different breaks throughout the day where all of the workers come together in a prayer meeting 2 or 3 times a day. So he put together all of these doctors in one place and turned it into a temple. And they're all working according to their profession. And they're making money to facilitate their individual needs also at the same time. So that's ideal. That's one ashram.
Thank you, Maharaj. Maharaj, we are almost 1.5 hour mark, and we have 3 more questions. Is it okay to take?
Rajamandala's got his hand up.
Yeah. And we have 2 more on chat. Yes, Prabhuji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my sincere humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to you, and all glories to all of the Vaishnavas present. Guru Maharaj, I was just reflecting on some of the questions asked by some of the devotees in relation to work-life balance, how difficult it is working out in the real world and trying to have a balance, Krishna consciousness and or how does it make one feel? How do they just keep themselves level-headed? And what popped up in my mind, Guru Maharaj, was the verse for Lord Nityananda, where it says, "But what use is this useless education and family tradition? How is that going to help him?" So I was kind of thinking about that, and I thought, well, even me and my line of work, I'm a healthcare practitioner, physiotherapist, and I'm going out helping as best as I can. But when I really, really, truly look at it, Guru Maharaj, and I think we've discussed this previously, or we've touched on it, I'm actually not fond of it because I have to work out there in the real world and associate with karmis, and I find it very, very taxing and troublesome, and it just I really struggle with it. I really, really, really struggle with it, and I cannot wait until it's done.
Yeah, because you're a devotee. Devotee means one who wants to be connected with devotional activities. The karmis, all they're interested is in sense gratification in different ways. And because they can't fulfill their desire for sense gratification, they're miserable. And when they talk, they're always complaining about something.
Right.
Correct. Yeah, when they talk, they're always complaining.
100%. That's just the ongoing saga every morning in the
Yeah,
office.
this is not right. Everything, they're always telling about their problems. But
Agreed, Guru Maharaj.
devotees sometimes talk about problems, but with solutions, not as a means for just venting their dissatisfactions. But we talk about Krishna or Krishna consciousness.
Yes, Guru Maharaj. And when it comes to association, I have personally found that when I'm in the association with devotees, like when we were just all together just a few days ago, that to step away from that, I find extremely personally painful to go back to the real world and go back to work. It literally breaks my heart and just smashes my brains up. And I have to put this thinking cap on again and become, Rishi and the physiotherapist. And it just, yes, I do help my patients to no end. I cheat, I smear them with Nishingadev oil, I preach if I can. And my new one is I'm going to distribute Mahaprasadam from Radha Gokulanandan to them in the form of, this is my wife's fudge that she's made, but it's actually Mangalarti sweet. I'm going to do that, but I still, but I still struggle to no end. And it just plays with my head because
devotees want to associate with other devotees. That's why.
Yeah.
And then, you're in a position of, just giving your association to them in some beneficial way, but you also need that association too.
Yes, Guru Maharaj.
Yeah.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. I'm going to email you about a couple of points, if that's all right.
Yeah, I can't wait to see you again.
You too, Guru Maharaj. I missed you so much, very much.
I miss you and your wonderful mother, who is my mother too.
Yeah.
His mother is Leela Shakti, for those of you who know her. She's a mother with a lot of bhakti. And your wonderful sister too, right?
Diptimati Radhika, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Guru Maharaj. She's very very fixed up in her sadhana and very in love with Mayapur Dham.
Nice.
She wants to move there.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
If she's actually on the verge of moving there, and if I can help, let me know.
I will, Guru Maharaj. I'll pass that information. I was just there recently last month because my brother's daughter got married in Mayapur Dham in Jagannath Balaram Subhadra Mandir. And so I was at the complex where you stay, Guru Maharaj. I was close by it. There's a complex there, and I looked at it, and it was very nice to see. I was very sad to come back to the reality, come back to this work-life balance.
The Shastras say out of all the holy places in Kali Yuga have a tendency to get covered over by the external energy. But Mayapur Dham is distinct from that. As time goes on, Mayapur starts to reveal itself more and more as the glorious of all the dhams. Because in this age, we worship Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is non-different than Sridham Mayapur. Everything about Mayapur centers around Panchatattva.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
So we have two questions on chat. Olga
Balakrishna, are you leaving us?
Unfortunately, I have to walk into work and attend a stupid Karmi stand-up meeting where we talk about stupid things, Maharaj.
Okay, give them some intelligence.
I will try, Maharaj. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Very well.
Hare
Okay. Okay. I'm sorry, I cut somebody off.
Olga Mataji is asking, Hare Krishna, dear Maharaj and dear devotees, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Speaking of Varnashrama system, they say in Kali Yuga, we are all Shudras and don't even have qualities of Shudras of those times. What would be the Varnashrama system basis in this case? How devotees would find their right place in this system? What would be the Varnashrama system basis in this case? How devotees would find their right place in this system?
Prabhupada set up a program for education. You can hear it. He talks about it. March 14th, 1974, morning walk in Vrindavan, where he outlines the whole process. And the first principle is Varnashram College, where we set up an educational system that are run by the Brahmins. The Brahmins teach the various Varnas to the Kshatriyas, to other Brahmins, to the Vaishyas. And then through the educational process, there's an evaluation system to see how a particular person develops in a particular way. And then when a person learns that, then they can be encouraged to follow their Varna and use that as a service in their devotional service. Yeah. So this college is called Varnashram College. Prabhupada, we did set it up, and we had one in New Vrindavan for a little while. And then we set one up in Radhadesh in Belgium. Now we're trying to get one going in Mayapur. So it's a whole system of education based on Varna, with an evaluation system, and all the teachers are Brahmins who teach all of the subjects in a collective manner. So that is Prabhupada's program. In the meantime, you can engage in devotional service according to your liking and see how you develop in that. The best thing to do is connect yourself with a particular temple and then work according to what are the different services that are available within the temple. Until that system is set up, I mean, we're slow because the priority is not there within the leadership to develop this program. But if, for whatever reason, I don't want to go into the reasons why, but there is not a focus on that, although it's becoming more of a focus now. Because I think it's becoming more of a necessity. We're losing devotees because they're not engaged properly.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Thank you, Maharaj. Maharaj, we have one more question by Rasavilasni Mataji. She's asking, it is written in the purport that Durvasa Muni can travel to any planet. So can he also travel to Goloka Vrindavan?
Yeah, that's your goal. Just keep dancing, and you can dance your way back to Goloka. Kirtan is the fast track.
Yes, Maharaj. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Okay, so we can do some japa if that's in line with everyone.
Yes, Maharaj. Yeah. Thank you so much once again for such a wonderful class and nice question answer discussion. Maharaj, I just want to announce tomorrow's class before starting the chanting. Tomorrow's class is with Harrisburg devotees. the same time, 12 p.m. UK time. And the verse number is 2nd Canto, 4th chapter, verse number 7, 247.
Mm-hmm. Tomorrow's a special day too.
Maharaj? I don't know, Maharaj.
Huh? Tomorrow's a special day.
Oh, okay. What is the occasion, Maharaj? Sorry.
You know better than I do.
It's my birthday. Thank you very much.
Okay.
I was thinking like some other spiritual day.
No, for the devotees, we like to honor all the devotees on their birthday.
Thank you very much for remembering. Hare Krishna.
Because of Srimati Guru Maharaj, we are all together like this at your lotus feet, listening to class every day. She's keeping us all together.
Yeah, she's great.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry.
Wasn't for her, I wouldn't be able to do it. Whatever I'm doing, it's, as they say, the Brahmins alone need the Kshatriyas in order for the Brahmins to become organized in whatever else they're doing. So organization, there's a story about organization that's mentioned in one particular book that was written, where one man comes to another man, he says, "Can you get me some milk?" And the man said, "Yeah. You just see that road down there? You walk down that road a half a mile, you'll see a barn. And when you see, and you look to your left, and there's the barn, and you bring your bucket, and there's a cow there." So where's the organization? Nowhere. But if things are organized, then when a man comes, "Can I have a glass of milk?" then everything is ready. He brings the milk and it's there. So the Brahmins need the Kshatriyas work where they can do whatever they need to do to organize. Because without organization, and when Srila Prabhupada was asked, and this is an interesting statement, listen to this carefully. He called his disciple, his servant, in the middle of the night when everyone was sleeping. He called them into his room and he looked at them and he said, "How will this movement go on once I'm gone?" Prabhupada was thinking about that. How will this movement go on once I'm gone? And then the devotee said, "Well, Prabhupada will go to Mangalarti, will distribute your books." Prabhupada just listened, and then he gave the answer. He said, "This movement will go on by organization and intelligence." Organization. We have all the ingredients. Now we have to learn how to organize it in an intelligent way. And that's what we're trying to do, put it all together, where it has the maximum amount of effect. Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Jai Sri Krishna, Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhar, Srivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hari 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hari Hari, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hari Hari. Hari Hari, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hari Hari, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hari Hari. Hari Hari, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hari Hari, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hari Hari. Hari Hari, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hari Hari, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hari Hari. Hari Hari, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hari Hari, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna Krishna. Hari Hari, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hari Hari, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hari Hari, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Hari, Hare Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hari, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Hari, Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Hari, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna. Hare Hari, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Hari, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Hari, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hari, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Hari, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Hari, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hari, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hari, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hari, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hari, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hari, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare Hare. Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare 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 Ram, Hare Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Ram Ram Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Krishna, Hare Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram.